showing here at the show?
Yeah, this is exactly what we're showing at the show.
I said the first time I saw him, and I'll say it again, damn, that looks good. Like, the way he looks, like, his, like, I mean, you can see, like, the pores in his skin almost, right?
We're not done with him yet.
No kid.
I mean, the thing about a character like Kratos is that you're never done with him until the game ships. Our game is so Kratos-centric that you can see I can light guys on fire. The fire propagates when they hit other people. But yeah, our game is so Kratos-centric that he's under the microscope every day.
I believe it.
I don't know if you noticed, but when the battle gets more intense and there's more blood flying, he actually takes blood on his body.
No, I didn't notice it. I apologize. You can tell, the folks at home can tell the games that I'm like super interested in because like when they show up with the games, I just stop talking and just watch.
Right.
Are you gonna? I don't want to spoil the demo that you're showing, but do I get to see a glimpse of Gaia?
A glimpse of Gaia.
Yeah.
Not in the demo, no. But expect to see Gaia for sure in the game. She's a pretty key player.
While you're going through, I'm going to throw some questions your way if you don't mind, Stig.
What was that?
I'm going to throw some questions your way if you don't mind.
Absolutely.
All right. A lot of the questions we'll get out of the way now that we usually save till the end. Is one that everybody wants to know. When's it coming out?
March 2010.
March 2010. That's what I love about the God of War series. Man, you guys just get bigger and bigger and badder.
This isn't the biggest Titan we got.
No, yeah. In the trailer, it's like he's like living on.
Yeah, that's. I'm not sure exactly. I want to say this guy's probably half the size of Gaia.
Wow. Michael Kostrowski out of Gorswo, Wolfowskowski, wherever that is. Sorry. Will the game run in 1080p and at 60 frames?
So here's the deal. Right now we're running at 720, but by the time that we ship, probably pretty soon here, a lot sooner than the time we ship, we'll be running at 1080. And we will support 1080, and 1080p. And
Out of curiosity,
and what was the other question? 60 frames a second?
Oh, yeah, 60 frames.
So we're taking the same approach that we did on God of War 2. We run at a variable frame rate between 30 and 60. So
that's interesting because a lot of game designers typically don't do that, right? They'll either
they lock it, and one of the reasons why we haven't locked it in the past is because we want to shoot for 60, and if we shoot for 60, most likely it'll never go below 30.
Right.
And so we that's kind of been a philosophy in our studio. I can remember even on God of War 1, there were times when God of War 1 didn't always run at 60, and there were times when we dropped down to 20 because of a certain puzzle, a certain type of fight required, 20 enemies, and there's a big crusher or something like that that's on screen that's grinding characters up. And that's just, I remember Jaffe, our old game director, he'd say, I don't care what the frame rate is, I want this puzzle, and I want this many characters on screen. So sometimes you just gotta break it in order to get the experience to be a certain way.
So you have worked on the first two games as well, is that right?
Yeah, I came in on early in production on God of War 1 as a lead environment artist, and then God of War 2 I became the art director. And then after Cory Barlog left, on early stages of God of War 3 I became game director.
That's not a bad thing to be doing. I got Ryan Hutchins out of Martinez asking what new weapons will be in the new God of War.
Okay, well, there's going to be a lot of new weapons. Right now I'm using the Cestus, that's one of them. And you can also see I'm using the Firebow now. But those are the only ones, unfortunately, that were you know, giving away right now. We don't want to. We still want to hold some of our cards. But one thing I can say is that the philosophy that we're taking with our weapons, you can see right on the fly, I can switch between the blades and the cestus, and I can do that. I can do that mid-move too. So, and it's just a matter of hitting the D-pad. Hitting right on the D-pad switches to the cestus, down is the blades. So we're taking that approach with all of our weapons. You can start moves with one and then switch to the other on the fly.
It's so hard because the blades are so cool that it's like you want to do cool new weapons, but the blades are awesome.
That's the challenge, you know. If we just, that's kind of the reason why we went this route, is we wanted to come up with weapons that basically, every move that you have on the blade, with the blade, these weapons will have a complementary move. So if I do square, square, triangle with the blades, and then I switch to the cestus, you can see that cestus also has a square, square, triangle. Or L1 triangle with the cestus does one thing, whereas L1 with the blades does another thing. Some weapons are better against different types of creatures, different types of situations.
William Ward out of London, what kind of magic spells can we expect? How many? How will they be different from God of War 2?
They're all going to be completely different. We're still toying with the idea of one of the problems that we have is what weapons from God of War 2 are we going to carry over in this game, because it seems like there's kind of a disconnect. If you started one way, and I mean, you finish God of War 2 one way, and then you start God of War 3, and you don't have those same weapons. That's a problem for us, because we want to include those weapons, and we certainly can, but it really kind of messes up the pacing and the tuning of the game, because when people finish God of War 2, they're experts. And now, you know, there's going to be the people that were the fans that finished the first 2 games that are really going to get how the weapons work, but there's going to be a lot of new fans, and we don't really want to alienate them. So as far as specifics as on the magics, how they go, all I'll say is that they're different. They're not the same ones, the new ones that you get. Like I said, it remains to be seen if we'll carry the other stuff over. It's literally, if we do, it'll be a tuning nightmare.
Now, since you worked on the first 2 games, you'll have a very good answer, I believe, for this question. This comes from Callan Guy to Essex. You talked about, obviously, new weapons, new magic spells, all that good stuff. Any fundamental differences between this game and the previous 2 God of War games? And if not, that is totally all right, because those 2 are awesome.
I'm trying to think of it. You know, we've been developing this character for several years, and I'd say no, there aren't any fundamental differences. Right. We've got rules. We've got rules before we tackle anything new with Kratos. We try to make sure that we follow the same kind of methodology we had in the past.
I know a lot of fans of this game. I don't know if it was just the timing of it or what, but like you look at other single-player action games like this, like say like a Ninja